Brought to you by the Asombro Institute for Science Education, with support from the USDA Southwest Climate Hub.
In this lesson, students will conduct an experiment to discover what factors affect the rate of evaporation of water from soil. They'll set up the experiment and take measurements over the following 3 days. Plan to split students up into 10 groups, 2 groups for each treatment: control, solar radiation, infrared ground radiation, wind, and ground cover. Each group will need a place to set up their soil container for 3 days, away from direct sunlight. The solar radiation treatment will have a heat lamp, infrared ground radiation will have a heating pad, and the wind treatment will be near a fan. Put the lights, heating pads, and fans on an automatic timer that turns on during the day and off when classes are not occurring. The ground cover treatment and the control both do not require electricity. Set scales in accessible locations around the room and place a large container of soil with trowels in the center. Label each container with the treatment name. You can show the remainder of this video to explain to students how to set up their experiment. Your goal is to determine which treatment loses the most water through evaporation. Each group will measure 2 centimeters from the bottom of your container, make a mark, and fill it with dry soil to that mark. Take the mass of the container with the dry soil and record it on your worksheet. Measure 100 milliliters of water and carefully sprinkle it evenly on top of the soil. Take the mass of the container with the soil and water and record it. Each group will set up their assigned treatment. The control groups will place their container of water and soil on a surface away from direct sunlight. You'll record the mass of your container daily. The solar radiation groups are using a lamp to represent radiation from the sun. Place your container about 3 to 6 inches away from the heat lamp. You'll record the mass of your container and rotate it 180 degrees daily. The infrared ground radiation groups are using a heating pad to represent the heat that radiates from the surface of the Earth. Place your container on top of the heating pad. You'll record the mass of your container and rotate the container 180 degrees daily. The wind groups are using a fan to represent wind. Place your container in front of the fan so it blows evenly across the container. Turn on the fan to the lowest setting and make sure the wind isn't affecting any other group's containers. You'll record the mass of your container and rotate it 180 degrees daily. The ground cover groups are representing plants that are growing on the soil. Place moss on top of the soil in patches without covering it completely. Compare with the other ground cover group to make sure you have a similar percentage of the surface covered. You'll take the mass of the container for the next 3 days, around the same time every day. Calculate the amount of water lost each day. After your measurements are complete, you'll analyze your data as a class to determine which treatment was the most effective at reducing evaporation, and how this relates to climate change.
A detailed teacher's guide and accompanying materials for this and other climate change lessons can be found online at asombro.org/climate. Check regularly for updates, new lessons, and information about teacher workshops.